Oh geez. Oh geez, look where we are. We're back.
Back at it again.
Somehow, some way, we have found ourselves back on the Split Decision podcast with your host, Roman Garcia, and co-host and best friend, PJ Katona. What are we doing here, PJ? How do we find ourselves here?
You know, many people are questioning. We're questioning if we ever return, and if it wasn't already inevitable that we'd be back. Here's your answer. We're back.
What do you think?
Just took some time. You know, Roman and I are in the real life world now, so you know.
We're into the thick of it real quick. Don't know how it happened. I remember the other day we were out here watching McGregor break his leg.
In this exact room, we watched McGregor snap his leg in two pieces.
Bad night.
Haven't watched him fight since, but here we are.
Real bad night. But yeah, here we find ourselves again. What was it? April 26th, the last episode of the Split Decision podcast, I think it was. Episode 45, I think. Yeah. 44 or 45.
One of those.
Lest we forget, longest running show in iOS TV history. Most views for a podcast in iOS TV history. Those are just the facts.
I was about to say,
those are just the facts.
We're not gloating. That's just what the numbers say. Numbers don't lie, they say.
Lest we forget. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
we have, but also that's the past now. That was a different chapter of our life. It's time to turn that page now. So PJ, that being said, what are we on to nowadays? What's the word? How you been since graduation?
Pretty good. Like we were just saying, you know, life comes at you pretty quick. It's weird. We're not back in Bloomington right now at school learning about absolute nonsense.
It is really
not
weird.
Sitting in Ryan Comfort's lecture hall room. Laughing at how goofy that guy was. But no, I'm currently still part-time working for the Chicago White Sox, the worst team in MLB history. I am just starting a new job at IU Northwest, athletic communications assistant.
There you go, pal.
And I'm a contributor to a blog website through Fansided website. You guys should check it out. It's called Cubby's Crib. So a lot of part-times right now. I'm still looking for something full-time, but maybe one day this will be full-time.
Hey, just wait.
And lastly but not least, I'm a co-host of the Split Decision podcast once again.
This is where we find ourselves. But PJ, no, it's a good thing. Keeping yourself busy, dude. Doing a lot of writing, I'm guessing, that sort of thing.
Yeah. A lot of athletic communication. So, writing. You know, it's been a good experience.
Always good to be working on the craft. The best skills you can have out there.
For sure. What about you, buddy? What are we doing nowadays?
After school, you know, I didn't know what I was gonna end up doing. I was a little nervy, as people get. You get a little nervy.
I feel you on that one.
But I filled my time. I got one more season of soccer in somehow, some way. I played some U23 soccer.
Sweet.
Sporting a mustache. I was playing against like 19-year-olds. I was like, what am I? I had to take a serious look in the mirror to that. I'm like, all right, this is all good and well, but
just a super senior out there.
I was like, this gots to be the last one.
Hanging it up after that one.
I was just looking to lace up the cleats one more time.
Yeah, no, staying in shape.
Let me tell you, like 2-3 games in, hammy already done for. Because you know I was doing no conditioning up to that point.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. I was trying to play. I was hoop. This is probably like a month ago, but I hadn't been in action for a while. I tried to hoop, and I'll just say I was pretty gassed after like the fourth or fifth possession. Oh boy.
Nah.
This is what they mean when they say you're getting old.
What sucks is you know what you used to be. You know?
Yes.
That's what's terrible.
I used to be Marab. And now I'm like...
Dude, that's what I'm... Yeah, no. Me and you, we had good cardio back in the day.
Being tired was just like a mentality back in the day.
We knew how to weaponize cardio.
No, of course.
Like no other.
But here we are, old and washed, but... Like we said,
dude, we're still throwing down. We're still the champs, bro. Yeah. After a few months of waiting around, month, 2 months, I ended up scoring this internship at Res Publica Group. It's a PR agency, so I'm gonna be there. Like I work full time down in the city, but I got that up through January, and then we're gonna have to figure something out. Maybe they integrate me. Maybe they acquire my services.
Yeah, I mean you never know.
That, or hopefully, like, at least they can put in a good word for me somewhere else.
Yeah, for sure. I
You
mean,
know? But much like you, like all that matters is you're doing stuff now. You're getting the experience.
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, it's just something to put on the resume.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's what I feel like a lot of people in the fields we're doing with just they just want experience.
Well, especially in the stuff that like actually is gonna apply to what you're gonna do. Because
sure.
I'm sure you're trying. Like you said, dude, we're trying to write. Dude, if I can write or talk about combat sports, that sort of thing.
That's ideal.
That would be
ideal.
so dope, dude. I'm trying to make it. I'm gonna try to make it to the UFC one day. Not as a not as a fucking fighter or anything like that.
So you might want to clarify what
No,
you're talking about.
my dream job would be like to be the matchmaker. If you could be the matchmaker for UFC.
I feel like that's any guy in his 20s to 30s, though. Any guy in their,
dude,
that age range would love to just sit there and make fights.
If I can just weasel a path there where I'm like, maybe I'm not like, what is it, Hunter Campbell level? I'm not
Hunter's the GOAT. After watching the that segment, like that little documentary the UFC did on, what did that stream on?
I have no idea what that was.
I forgot what it streamed on, but that was a great, like after that I was like, wow. Hunter Campbell actually he's the GOAT behind the matchmaking. It's crazy.
So yeah, if I can be like something around that level where like, hey, we run it by Roman first. What do you think about this?
That'd be tough. Imagine Uncle Dana walks
in. I was like, Raul.
I got an idea, but
Raul versus Cheeto somewhere like 3 years, 4 years down the line. You're telling me that's not a fight?
Maybe Cheeto probably be on like an 8-fight losing streak.
Like you're telling me like one day, Raul. 4-fight win streak from now, 4 fights from now. Cheeto's on his way out. Bookmark this right now.
Yeah, but enough yapping. I guess they don't really care about us for that too much. I assume they're here to listen to some MMA.
No, yeah, this is what we're really here for, because we've been talking about this for a while. Me and PJ had talked about it throughout the summer, mentioned it once or twice, but it's like one of those, you make plans with friends, and it's like you're just waiting for you just gotta like actually...
Someone took initiative.
Yeah.
Well, it was, like we said, it was a weird time, though, because...
it was. We had other things we had to attend to first, we would say.
Yeah, I mean, we had real life stuff to take care of, and once we got somewhat, I think both of us got our wheels on the track a little bit. They're starting to roll. Now we're back doing this. I mean, this is kind of this is a hobby, like we said.
Once I had enough money to actually afford a fucking microphone.
Yeah. Financially, this needed work too.
Bit of a cushion.
For sure.
But, we're ready to rock and roll. So that being said, PJ, what do we want to talk about?
I mean, like we said, sports? I mean, you posted on the Instagram, who everybody should be following, by the way.
The Split Decision Pod.
Is that what it is? All right, yeah. You made an Instagram post. A lot of stuff, a lot of crazy stuff, both inside the combat sports world and outside the combat sports world happened since our sad exit for a little bit. But the last event we covered, and it feels like we missed like 100 events, which we really didn't. We only missed 6 pay-per-views. Mm-hmm. The last one wasn't too long ago. But yeah, so we talked about Pereira versus Hill at UFC 300. The first one we missed was, I mean, honestly, not a bad one to miss. Yeah. UFC 301 between Pantoja and Steve Erceg.
Wasn't too upset about that.
Can't say we had too many, anything really noticeable except Kyle Barallo, who floored Paul Craig, and he's obviously up in the rankings
he's good.
now. Yeah, he's definitely legit. He's in the top 5 now. I don't know, I guess...
He fought twice. He's fought twice since then.
Yeah.
He ended up fighting Cannonier a few months later.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I'll just name it. I mean, 301 was that. We missed 302, which was Makhachev Poirier. Heck of an event right there. 303 was supposed to be our great return. We probably, if Conor was fought at 303 on June 29th, we might have already came back, because we were not going to miss.
I think we probably said that too. We said if he was his fight week, we were going to make.
That would have been our time to come back. But yeah, that was replaced by Pereira beating down on Yuri Prochazka. 304, we had another. I'd honestly would kind of say a beatdown, at least a letdown. Bilal Muhammad, Leon Edwards, UFC 304, Duplessis Adesanya 305, and we just missed. Through UFC 306, Noche, in my opinion, one of the sickest events ever.
It was wild.
My goodness, O'Malley versus Dvalishvili. I don't know. I don't know what we want to like highlight in particular. I mean, the Makhachev Poirier fight was pretty sick going back to 302. Islam just looks like he might never be beaten ever.
I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm telling you, I can't think of a single fighter, probably in 150 or 170, that I would take over him.
Yeah, but it's just like the thing is, he gets hit during his fights. He gets bloodied up a little bit, but I mean...
But he's good. You cannot say Islam's boring. Like, there's people who just try to throw him in there with, like, oh, the Dagestan.
I'll be honest, I used to be that guy, 100%. Yeah. Like, before he was champ, I was like, dude, this guy sucks. He's just going to hold you down. He sucks, but, he's been electric. He finished Oliveira. I mean, the Poirier fight, he was dead tired. And I think he looked pretty tired in that 5th round, and so did Poirier. Yeah. He's just built. He
found a way. He just finds a way.
Sadly, knocked out Volky. Uncle Volk now. He ruined Volk's career.
That's easy money. Volk is easy money now, I fear.
I hate to say that. He might be easy money now.
But yeah, something I want to mention about Islam Makhachev, just going back to him real quick. Would you rather pay to watch an Islam Makhachev fight or a Khabib fight? Because to me, Islam Makhachev is the more exciting fight.
100%. I would much rather watch Islam.
For like a headline event, him versus McGregor. Let's say next fight somehow make it happen. Khabib too or Islam
well you can't. I mean I don't know if that's fair to compare though, dude. Khabib McGregor 2 is the biggest fight.
But might I argue that Conor has a better chance of beating Islam because he does. Like he's willing to stand up with him.
Yeah, like we said. Like I said, he's willing to get hit, and he will get hit, but you just don't want to go. Dude, he'll drag you into deep. Like, just when you think you're dragging him into the deep water, dude, he's already got you. You're already drowning.
That's true.
You're already drowning.
It's the fact he can mix it up. He mixes it up better than anybody else.
The most all-around complete fighter on the roster right now, I think, in my opinion.
But I'm looking at the screen right here. The next 2 fighters next to him, Bilal Muhammad, Dricus du Plessis, they also are very good at mixing it up. They mix up the wrestling with the striking. They can come with a different game plan in any given fight.
Islam is way more entertaining than Bilal, though. I have to say.
Yeah, for sure. But we can't say that. Bilal just doesn't have that power. He doesn't have that scary power.
No, he doesn't.
Unfortunate. But obviously, he's still a 190-pound guy when he's in there hitting you, so it's gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah, no, he's just. He's not a.
So he'll pepper you.
I mean, when you look at him, and then you look at Kamaru Usman, they're just two completely different body types.
But I think he's due for another one. Like he's one of those fighters. Like you're gonna get a knockout. You fight for long enough, you're gonna get another knockout.
I mean, I hope so.
I'm rooting for him. I don't know who would be next for him potentially.
I think it's gotta be Shavkat.
Yeah,
I want Usman to be champ again because I like Usman now. I'll be honest. I used to not like him a while ago, but I have respect for him now. Mm-hmm. But I think Shavkat just makes sense. I think or Kamaru, like everybody's been saying, Kamaru and Shavkat fight for that next opportunity.
Him versus Shavkat would probably be the fight that I would favor to watch as a fan. But
I agree. If I were Hunter Campbell right now, I would make Kamaru versus Jack Della Maddalena.
Yeah.
And then I'd put Shavkat versus Bilal.
I like that a lot.
Just because JDM is obviously he's on the way up. He messed up Gilbert Burns.
What about Kobe? What are we doing with that guy? Still somehow finds himself in the top 5.
Yeah, he's a dog. Don't count him out. Don't count out Colby, dude. He's a dog.
Jesus. I don't know. Who did they give that guy to?
Colby? I mean...
Michael Morales?
Morales is a dog. I said that somebody needs to roll back the tape. I don't know what episode it was. From his debut fight, I am on the Michael Morales train. So when he's champ, everybody better remember.
He's not lying.
I said he will be champion. He is a beast. I said that about Cyril Gahn, and we got close. Don't get me wrong; it's going to happen at some point. Just wait. But Michael Morales, yeah. I mean, I hope for someone who actually. I mean, I do like Colby. He's hard to like at times, but other times I think he's a funny dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the road is for. They were talking about him versus Charles for a split second. I saw it.
Yeah, Charles was in the mix for a lot of people, I think, and now he's fighting Chandler.
I did get me curious. Charles at 170 would be a nice little fun one. I'd like to see. He does seem to kill himself to get down to 150. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's a big 55er. So, yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know what else. I mean, the lightweight division, it really hasn't shaken up too much besides Arman Sarukian obviously is the number one contender right now, and that's the next fight to make in the lightweight division. Do we think Arman has enough to?
No, not from what I've seen. Not from he had a close fight with Charles. Some people
He arguably lost to Charles.
Arguably lost.
At the end of the fight, I thought Arman definitely won, but there's an argument.
Yeah, but Charles put Arman in more danger than Arman put Charles.
He almost got finished. I mean, Charles almost won that fight twice.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that being said, like obviously MMA math, make of it what you will.
Yeah. I mean, but they fought before, which is crazy too.
Yeah, that is true. And Islam. But back then, I think obviously Islam was a lot less developed as a fighter then. Like clearly the striking wasn't there, and I think it's definitely better than Arman's.
Yeah, you know what this kind of reminds me of now that I just thought about it. Like this is low key the same thing as like Usman versus Edwards when they fought a while ago, when neither one of them were champion. Sure. Islam and Arman fought when neither one of them were champion early in their careers. God. They both. At the time, we were probably watching, and we were just not we. I can't say I was a fan back then.
No way.
People were like, "Who are these schmucks fighting?" And now they're going to be fighting for the strap. I actually do not like Arman at all. I really hope. I'm actually, for the first time, I think I'm clearly rooting for Islam to win that fight. I do think Islam wins too.
Real. I was just thinking. I'm like, if I watched. Because ultimately how Edwards and Usman played out, obviously Edwards got that KO victory.
I was just thinking, I don't want to compare it too much because I don't want to talk it into existence Arman is champ.
Yeah, or just thinking about a scenario where he knocks Islam out, you know how annoying that would be?
I would have to respect him, though. If somebody actually finishes Islam outside of that one guy who's the greatest fighter of all time, whoever that guy is, the one guy with a knockout victory over Islam is nuts. But in all seriousness, I don't think Arman's got enough to beat Islam. I think Islam is another level ahead of Arman on the ground. Mm-hmm. And striking, I just favor Islam. So, I mean, yeah.
It'll be interesting. Who even knows if that's the next fight for Islam? And it sounds like he's going to be out for probably through the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing I could see is the winner of Charles versus Michael Chandler.
Unless they want that Conor fight.
I'm saying, but I think, in my opinion, I think the winner that's going to vouch to fight Conor.
If I'm Islam, I would low key sit out, let those two fights unfold. For the second one, they'll make him an interim title because if he stays out for a year and a half, they would do that. They would make.
Dude, just pray McGregor wins.
Yes.
Like, I mean, let's just be honest. I would kill for Conor.
He doesn't need
to win, but dude, He's not beating
Islam doesn't need to beat anybody right now. People, they're not going to call him saying he's ducking anybody because the next possible opponent he's pretty much all taken care of. Or you would see him taken care of. Like, him versus Justin Gaethje, I don't necessarily want to see that fight.
No.
Islam would beat him
especially
so easily.
Yeah, especially after watching Justin get mauled by Max Holloway. I think we're good on that fight.
Yeah. But lightweight division is honestly, I think, always the most exciting division to talk about.
Yeah, it's just like it's like the perfect median of when you get guys that are big, like the big dudes that are like Islam and Charles, but then you also get you get guys that they're still small enough to the point where they're like flyweights. How they always say flyweights are so skilled, and those are the sickest fights to watch.
Exactly.
Where
they're good mobily, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
As you move up, they get a little stiffer. They don't.
Yeah, the skill level definitely goes down as you go up, obviously, I would say. But the power also goes up.
Speaking of power, I mean, I'm looking at him right here.
Show him.
Alex Potan.
Show him.
Bro, he is tough. He's carrying. You would have to say he's number one.
Biggest star in the sport right now. I mean, without him, I don't quite know who we're talking about here. I mean, I would have said O'Malley, but he's obviously just lost.
Ilya. Worldwide, maybe Ilya. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or Makachev actually has
I was
7 million.
Makachev is probably the next biggest star after Pereira.
Which is crazy to say that because 3 years ago I'd have been like, this guy's never going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Pereira, obviously the only event we missed was the last event we covered, like we just said, and now he put another brutal beat down on Prohajka, and I mean he did it in about the same amount of time, but I just feel like this one was way more one-sided. I mean,
better fashion.
Yuri maybe landed one. I remember one good punch the whole fight, and the rest was just. End of the first round, obviously dropped him with the left hook, and second round ended in about 13 seconds. Second round, he pretty much McGregor versus Aldo'd him real quick.
He's so sick.
He's
sick.
He's a dog.
He's exactly what the UFC needs right now. Because I really don't know who could fill the shoes. Especially, he's willing to fight anybody, anytime. Now, granted, are they giving him, strikers, people who aren't necessarily going to take him down?
100%.
But also, everyone's well within their right to take him down. We saw Jan take him down. He didn't care, and he got the closest. And he got the closest to winning out of them all.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, there's an argument that Jan beat him.
He's not making them stand with them though. They're just choosing.
All these guys get up here and they have a clear path, like at least a clear common.
Oh, if there was one way to go, even for me, like if I were to get in there, I would be like, I'm gonna try to grab this guy.
Dude, you don't want to sit there and stand there. I mean, dude, he has probably the best leg kick in the UFC as well. Not just the left hook, like his leg kicks. I mean, Yuri's leg was out in about 3 minutes.
So also easier said than done because obviously he has all those weapons that you can't just run run and grab.
Unless you're like Tom Aspinall, you can't just bull charge. You can't just bull charge at him.
That fight would be insane. But I know Tom Aspinall would surely.
I think Tom would get him down.
Yeah, surely take.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to get a little annoyed with Tom Aspinall. This whole John Jones thing. I get it. He wants to fight him. Yeah, it's just annoying. Like there's no other content about Tom Aspinall out on social media that doesn't have to do with John Jones.
It's like what else can he afford to talk about? Like
I get it.
He's an interim champion.
I get it. It's just like every day I see something new. I'm like, dude,
it's fair.
I get it.
It's fair. But I mean, I think it's working. I mean, most of the talk around from what I see is people are really shitting on John Jones.
I mean, I think John needs to do that fight. I mean, would it be one of the greatest things to ever see if he were able to knock out beat
at MSG,
beat Aspinall and fight the next best upcoming dude. It would be sick.
Jones beat Aspinall at MSG.
Jones doesn't need that fight.
He does not.
But on the topic of that, if Stipe, like Daniel Cormier was saying on the Good Guy Bad Guy podcast or whatever show, that if Jones or Stipe pull out, the guy that doesn't pull out is not going to fight Tom Aspinall.
No way.
DC was saying get ready for Aspinall versus Cyril Gane for an interview or something like that.
Facts.
Because I don't think, if I were a heavyweight, I would not want to fight Aspinall. I mean, he's making it look easy. I mean, he made Curtis Blades look easy. Curtis Blades is not easy by any means.
No. Early stoppage, question mark? Who knows?
I mean, maybe, but he still tagged him and put him down.
Yeah, it's crazy to see what he's doing. Probably, I would say, the best athlete in that. Hold on. It's a tough question because Cyril Gane, obviously, he's a great athlete. They're
both great athletes, but at the same time, Aspinall, in terms of just being all around, Aspinall's ground game is way better.
Yeah, I think he grew up doing wrestling and jiu-jitsu for the most part. And then
100%.
I'm not sure, though.
But, yeah, I mean, real quick, back to the light heavyweight division. The only guy in this top 4 that he hasn't faced yet, Pereira that is, is Ankalaev, who has a fight scheduled with Rakic, I believe, for 308, which is headlined by Topuria Holloway. I think it's clear as day. I thought it was clear as day already that it should be Pereira versus Ankalaev next, but clearly Hunter and Dana do not like Magomed, along with the rest of the entire UFC fan base.
Yeah, I mean... It's kind of unfair because I feel like he doesn't even necessarily take people down that much. He does when he has to.
No, I mean he'll use his ground game, but he's a good striker. He doesn't submit people.
Yeah,
that's
the problem is he's smart, and he says just like everyone else that I would stand with him, blah blah blah. I want to test my striking. Dude, that guy's too smart, and he could have had the belt already. There's no way he doesn't play it safe and take the easiest possible path.
Yeah, I think that I think Pereira is going to get through Roundtree. If he doesn't, oh my goodness, that might be not one of the biggest upsets of all time, but I just can't imagine Khalil Roundtree being a UFC champion. I also couldn't imagine Jamal Hill being a UFC champion, but that happened.
Dude, that guy sucks. Dude,
Jamal. you don't like Taj Mahal Hill?
Jamal, if you're listening, buddy. I love that you represent Chicago and the Midwest,
I was rooting for him when he fought Glover, so I actually don't mind Jamal. However, he got pooped on.
Sometimes he's just yapping, bro. Sometimes why are you yapping?
He's yapping.
It's
just if you're gonna yap that much, you gotta be able to back it up.
Exactly.
And he got floored in one round.
Yeah, he did get floored. I was happy to see it. honestly.
Yeah.
Was I nervous, Jamal? I was absolutely nervous. I thought there was
I
a chance.
thought Jamal would do a lot better.
Thought he had a chance.
If
sure.
Jamal is watching, I gave you
Yeah.
I talked way too good about you for you to get knocked out in 3 minutes or whatever it was.
Honestly, part of it maybe is all the talking he was doing. Maybe I was like, damn, he really does believe that he can go in there and knock this guy out. Like, maybe he could. So props to him for that, but nah. He's you got to represent Chi-Town a little bit better than that, bro.
I would have to agree. But moving on from 303, now we missed UFC 304 where we were crowned a new champion, one that you called. You did say he was going to be a champ.
Many years ago.
You did. That is Bilal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Leon, you kind of sucked for that performance. Bilal is just a dog, though. I mean, very similar. I think very similar fight to the most recent pay-per-view in Merab and Sean. You know, Sean and Leon, the prolific strikers, and Bilal and Merab, just two guys that can go. I mean, probably some of the best cardio in on the entire roster, and they just outdogged them. If I'm being completely honest, hurts me to say that about Sugar, but he just got outdogged by Merab, whatever he's calling him.
Again, I'm going to say something similar that I said to Jamal. Sugar's a dork. But I was really scared that he could knock on Merab. I did not.
I was fairly confident Sugar was going to catch him.
I was really nervous. I kind of put that money down.
And he will. Don't worry. He'll be back, and he will do it.
I'm sure you'd love that. No.
Sugar
would be a real one if he takes the Corey Sandhagen fight.
Yeah, I mean, I love Corey Sandhagen.
I think he will take that.
Yeah, well, he also said that, I mean, he's having surgery October 3rd, I believe he just said. So he's going to be out for at least half a year, probably more than half a year, at least out of training for probably quite a bit. So I wouldn't expect to see him till mid to late 2025 is my guess.
I think summertime next year.
I would say
International Fight Week.
That would be great. When McGregor versus Makhachev is the... McGregor versus Oliveira. No, McGregor's going to fight early in the year. But regardless, enough. I keep trying to revert it back to Conor.
I've been waiting for like a mind-melting like title fight announcement for a while. I need something crazy.
We do.
I am probably the thing that I'm looking forward to most, not too far from now, is the return of this guy, obviously. Hopefully. Fuck.
He ain't fighting. Whitaker, let me look real quick. Who's Whitaker actually?
Nah.
Let me break the news right now. Whitaker is going to probably fight, in my opinion, Nasruddin Imavov.
Dude.
Because Nasruddin's going to beat Brendan Allen. Wait, when is that?
Dude, this is actually incredibly unreal how this is a total possibility.
This is actually what's going to happen. Let me break it down for you, ladies and gentlemen, right now. When do they fight? Brendan Allen and Nasruddin Imavov fight this weekend, literally Saturday. I'm telling you right now, the winner of that is going to be calling for a title shot. They're going to be yapping, and then this guy is going to get a cold again or whatever he's going to get. And Whitaker's going to need another opponent.
I'm sorry.
And then I think you go for, a number one contender. I don't know, Sean Strickland. I know you like that guy, but you want to talk about yapping? He is a yapper.
No, they're both turned into yappers before my very eyes. It's very stressful. Yeah. Very stressful.
Sean I used to love Sean. I can't say I love him anymore.
They gave him too much power.
They did. Holding the belt gave too much power because before he said he never cared about the belt. He said he didn't care. He just wanted to fight and hurt people. Yeah. And now, I don't know. It's whatever. We're not talking about that. But let me tell you, Rob Whitaker is not fighting that guy. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. I hope it does happen because if we're talking about things to look forward to, 308 is a generational card in terms of...
Oh, that's the big one.
I guess we can talk about that after we cover the other two events that we missed real quick because that is going to be one of the greatest cards of all time in my opinion. But yeah, 304 happened. We were talking about Aspinall. He pinned Blades pretty badly. Paddy the Baddy subbed King Green.
Easy money.
Pretty easily. And yeah, Leon lost. So...
Paddy looked real. He looked real now.
Paddy, yeah, people got to give him respect. He actually made it to the rankings. A lot of people didn't think he'd make it after that Jared Gordon performance.
Probably a ranked fight next for him, you would imagine. Well, that was a ranked fight, never mind.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think, top 10? Top 10?
Yeah, or maybe...
Jalen Turner?
No. Turner doesn't have that dog in him anymore. Maybe, I mean...
He's close to the bottom.
Could fight the loser of the fight this weekend. Could fight Moicano or Saint Denis. Moicano's been calling out Paddy Moicano calls him Paddy Pimblage.
Yeah. Or maybe why not fight the winner? Paddy versus Saint Denis.
Yeah,
That'd be
if Paddy's deserving.
UFC France. Oh wait, that's this weekend.
Yeah, they're
they do two. They do 2 year. Don't
yeah, they do. I mean that could happen. I mean, but yeah, Paddy's definitely getting a ranked opponent next.
They should wait for that. They should wait. They would make that would be a banging fight. Imagine England versus France, Saint Denis versus Paddy the Baddy.
Outside of like Brazil and like the Americans,
dude, in the UK, Loki, they could pay-per-view that fight.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like outside of like that's got to be one of the most passionate MMA fan bases right there colliding together. That last UFC not the last one, but Don versus Tuivasa, that crowd was unreal. Yeah, unreal crowd. But moving on from that, unless you had something else to say about Paddy.
No, it just looked good. I'm looking forward to seeing his next fight. Turn me slightly into a fan again.
Honestly, me too. I was kind of off the train.
Answered some questions for sure.
Definitely. I mean, King Green is no slouch. Obviously, he's not fighting for any title anytime soon, King Green, but he's like I don't want to compare him to Pedro Munoz, but you always say like a guy you just have to beat to make sure you're legit. That's a guy you beat to make sure you're legit. You beat King Green.
That is true.
You're legit. Anyways, moving on. Another event we missed. UFC Perth 305, the return of Israel Adesanya and Dricus du Plessis. The fight that was supposed to happen probably a year or two ago, and then obviously we know Dricus got hurt after he beat Bobby Knuckles, and then Sean Strickland came in and shook up the entire world pretty much by beating Izzy bad. And then we got this fight finally, and Dricus looked. I mean, he looked good. I mean, Izzy looked pretty good. He just, I don't even know what I want to say about Dricus because he's so good and weird and unconventional about how he fights. It's like I can't even describe to you what he does.
Saying like that's really where a lot of his success comes from is that you just don't know what he's about to do.
You have zero clue.
You have literally zero clue. He has zero clue.
I don't even think
dude, like he has like. As soon as it happens, he forgets what he just did last. So in the middle of, he might be in the middle of a 1-2 and just decide to dive at your legs in the middle of it. Like,
no, I mean, I saw a tweet and it was just kind of like, it was a picture of Merab, Bilal, and Dricus, and it's like if you were to tell UFC fans like 3 years ago these three would be champ, you would actually ask what the hell's going on in the MMA world. But
thanks.
They're all cardio machines. They're all sharp in every aspect of MMA. It might become the new base.
And they got that dog in them.
They've proven
it. They've all proven it.
All three of them are absolute beasts. I mean, I can't say I love Merab or Bilal, but I do love to watch Dricus fight because he is keeps you on your toes, to say the least. Besides the main event, though, we had a shocking result, at least for me, in the co-main. That was Kai Kara France versus Steve Ursag, former title challenger Ursag, who many people thought had a great chance to beat Pantoja, a guy who I think was 3 fights into his UFC career and got an immediate title shot, ranked like number 11 in the world. And a lot of people were like, why are we doing this? But if you think about it, it was probably it wasn't a bad idea because the flyweight division has been kind of stagnant for a while.
Yeah, it gave somebody to care about.
Ever since Moreno and Figgy stopped their 4-year, 4-fight little saga they had.
Bad for the division.
It was a little bit stagnant and boring, to say the least. So giving a new guy, an unknown guy, the opportunity. You said it kind of best. You said like we have a defending champion who's a dog, giving a guy like the unknown underdog. Yes,
it's Rocky.
Literally the Rocky story. Giving some guy who no one knows a shot to be a world champion. He didn't pull it off, but
he went the distance. Sometimes that's all that matters.
And he took a couple rounds from the champ too.
For sure. But all that to say. He got floored in the first 2 minutes. I
thought he was going to win this bout. I really did. And Kai Kara,
Rock.
I have to apologize. I thought Kai Kara was a bit washed, especially after when I thought Moreno screwed him up bad enough to say he's washed. But Kai Kara is still definitely a contender in this division.
That's a fight you lose. Betting wise, and you decide
that hurts.
That's the rest of your night. You're not empty in the pocket anymore.
Can't say
it's just not your night that night.
I've taken a bit of a break from sports betting, but I would have thrown a lot of money on Ursag. I recommended a lot of people to throw money on her seg, and I'm sorry to all you that
Dude,
listen to me. No one tells you to listen to me.
People ask me all the time.
Say, if you ask, don't be mad when when I lose, you know.
At Jack Bailey, who asks for my picks all the time and gets mad. I'm sorry, dude. I'm trying my best out here. I really am. I'm not trying to sell you snake oil, but
the thing is, this sport. That's why we love the sport, though. It's just too unpredictable. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
But man, does it feel great when you're right? Yeah. But it's
right.
usually when you're betting on a Dagestani to win by unanimous decision.
Speaking of a wrestler who sucks, I don't know if we were talking about wrestlers who suck, but speaking of just a decision merchant, Gamrat actually lost to the Hangman. What about the resurgence of the Hangman? When we started this podcast, the Hangman was...
I don't even think we were talking about it. It's just like, it was Dan Hooker is doing something.
I don't even remember what would have been the first fight. We weren't recording when he got KO'd by Chandler.
We started, October 22, 23?
Yeah, ever since we started this podcast, Hooker's researched his entire career. He was 1-4, and I believe we started in October of 22, and he fought in November.
That's crazy.
Knocked out Puelis.
That's actually crazy we've been going that long.
It really is. That was a long time ago when I thought Claudio Puelis was going to submit Dan Hooker.
Whoa, that's documented out there.
What a moron I am for that one. Claudio Puelis, quite possibly the biggest schmuck in the history of the UFC.
I bet you that's on the gram somewhere. I gotta find that.
Probably. But yeah, no. Dan Hooker has resurged his career. Dan Hooker is a mythical fighter. A mythical fighter. He outdogged Jalen Turner. He outdogged Gamrat. Thank you so much.
He's crazy.
Anybody who beats Gamrat, I am a fan of. So I was already a fan of the Hangman, but
dude, and of course it's I won't say it's the one time because I bet Gamrat to win by decision versus Dos Anjos, but I was actually rooting for him in that fight, and I'm iffy on Dan Hooker. I'm still a little bit iffy. Not in his fighting style.
He's just a dog.
Not in his fighting style at all. His personality, he talks a lot of shit, which I'm not necessarily mad at.
He's a guy that's gonna put butts in seats though. Like he's entertaining.
He is. I was just like, every now and then I'm like, you want to see the guy who gets talking shit, especially when I got money going. I had money against you, flat out. I'm sorry.
I think Dan Hooker is probably his most famous moment of his career is not in a win. I would say it's definitely when he called out Poirier right before COVID happened and said he was going to rip Poirier's head off. He didn't win, but he almost ripped off Poirier's head. I mean, that was one of the greatest. Like, he's a guy that doesn't just talk. You know, he doesn't yap. He's gonna bring it every time he gets in the cage. And he said he was gonna go for it, and he did. So I respect those kind of guys. You know, there are certain guys like I can't think of someone off the top of my head, but certain guys that get in it. Like, example, Paul Craig. He has some of the greatest stare downs in UFC history. The most intense stare downs in UFC history. You think he's going to fight like Poatan, and then he goes in there and he grabs legs and he gets knocked out. Hooker, he talks shit. He backs it up. Even if he doesn't lose, even if he doesn't win, he does lose. He's in there for war.
There's no doubt in that. He has that. He fights real Mexican style.
he really does. He really does. Yeah. You said it, not me. He's a dog. He's a dog.
Well, feel free, dude. We are no longer under the umbrella of the IU Student Television.
Another big event I think that happened at UFC 305 was the emergence of Carlos Pratis in the welterweight division. He messed up a kind soul. He messed up the Leech, Li Liang, who I think was very beloved in his division, but
the Fighting Nerds. He comes from the Fighting Nerds.
From the fight that has emerged ever since we stopped this. The Fighting Nerds is a real thing.
A gang of Brazilian vigilantes who all decided to learn the mixed martial arts.
And they're good. They're all good. Really good. It's not like there's anyone that's
nerds
bad.
By day,
killers by night.
Killers by night.
They're sick. Killers by pay-per-view.
No, they're dangerous.
So yeah, that happened. And then most recently, the one that we just witnessed, in my opinion, probably the coolest UFC event ever, just because it was at the Sphere in Las Vegas. I think a lot of people were kind of criticizing this card just because there wasn't a whole lot of name power outside of the main and co-main and Diego Lopez and Ortega. But the rest of the card, everybody was iffy. It was a bunch, and I know what you're going to say. They all got the Mexican fighting spirit.
Yeah,
they put on a show.
No, they put on a show.
It was a great event, I think. I would give it almost a 10. Not a 10, maybe a 9 out of 10. I mean,
I would give it... Man, I really did appreciate it. I will say for all that I don't like about Dana White sometimes, like he did put on a good show for the Mexican.
He hyped it up, and a lot of people said this is gonna suck.
And I very much appreciated that, especially he gave something like Mexicans to celebrate on Mexican Independence Day weekend.
Say,
so
yeah.
I applaud him in that aspect. I wish we get a Mexican in the headline in the main event. That'd be cool. Unfortunately, there wasn't really anybody who could stand out.
I was going to say, I mean, the Grasso and Shevchenko is a big fight, but I just don't know for a card like this that's supposed to be generational. I don't know if you can have those guys.
I mean, obviously, especially with hindsight, it turned out to be a terrible fight. Even though the first two were good fights, of course, the third one happens to be the one.
Oh, they've. I mean, you can only share the octagon for X amount of minutes before, you know their every single move.
Yeah, one figures the other one out eventually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know who else. I would have liked to see Ilya versus Max. I thought for a while that might be the headline. I'm like, Ilya, he's from Spain. He speaks Spanish. That's close enough.
I mean, O'Malley's got some Mexican fans.
Holloway looks like he could be a little, he could be Mexican too.
Yeah.
He doesn't shave.
I think they saved that card, that fight for a great card, though. I'm not pissed about what they did with that fight, because you said it, I don't know when that was. I think it was just off the record. We were just chatting. That is probably one of the biggest featherweight title fight in probably a long time.
Probably since the rematch of Volk versus
Max.
Max.
I mean,
I would say probably
the Max Volk saga when that started. I mean, that's a big, and it's one of the most 50-50 fights I think I've ever seen in a long time. Don't ask for my advice on that one, because I think both guys are going to win.
Yeah,
and that can happen.
Yeah,
so but. Going back to UFC 306, we already kind of mentioned Merab just simply outdogged Sean.
Yeah.
I had it 3 rounds to 2. Merab, you can argue 4 rounds to 1. Merab, I wouldn't call you crazy. I think it was 3-2. I do think Sugar can do it in a rematch. It would take a heck of an effort. Excuse me. To do so, but
I mean, a lot of people saying he looked flat. I mean, he himself, I'll say, I don't know if he ended up making an excuse for himself, because he actually. Do you actually think he thinks he won? Do you think he thinks he actually won?
I don't know. I mean, I like Sugar. I don't know if I necessarily agree with what he's doing on social media right now. I know he's just trying to stay relevant, and he's trying
to show that he doesn't care about the loss. Or whatever,
yeah, I mean, he's doing what he's got to do to make money. But. Yeah, what do we think is next for Merab? Because I think it's very obvious that Umar should be next, but Merab is insistent that he doesn't want to fight Umar.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen, but I also don't quite understand why Merab is kind of, I don't want to say he's scared of him, because I don't know what he is, but I think it's clear as day who should be next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. Umar's probably the one that you want to step up after that one.
Yeah.
But,
and Umar's I would probably say another exciting Dagestani. I wouldn't consider him boring.
I was thinking about that when we were talking about Islam earlier, when I was saying 3 years ago, if you would ask me if I would be excited to watch an Islam Makhachev fight, I'd probably be like, no. But now I see the similar thing with Umar, where maybe a little bit. I hadn't watched him enough to really make a decision on him, but you see, he's about, and they all say it too when they talk about each other. They say Umar's as talented as it gets, basically. He has it all.
He's very well rounded, to say the least. I mean, he will strike. I do think if he were to fight somebody like Sugar, though, he probably would bore the fans and only wrestle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Merab had to do. Merab, if that was only a stand-up fight, I'm sorry, there's no shot Merab wins that fight.
But yeah, there's smart guys like that. Like you say, they're gonna take the easiest path to victory.
As fans,
the smartest path. The easiest path is all.
I mean, that's what they're there to do at the end of the day. They're still there to win. Obviously, the UFC is kind of a sport, and also an entertainment business, to where if you're more entertaining, you're gonna make more money. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, they're still there to win fights, and that's what those guys do.
Yeah.
As for Sugar, like we said, I think he's going to be out for probably at least 9. I'd say at least a quarter of a year. I'd say 9 months.
Yeah.
Maybe Corey would be sick. I don't know if Corey's going to wait that long. The rematch with Petr Yan would be also pretty sick, in my opinion.
But I don't think Yan waits that long either.
I agree.
Sandhagen too, possibility, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of already covered Shevchenko versus Grasso. Remarks on that? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit of a bigger fan of Shevchenko than I am Grasso. I don't really know why, but I feel like Valentina is one of the greatest to ever do it. So I just feel like I I wouldn't. I'm not gonna sit here and say I would have been upset if Grasso won because she's an excellent fighter herself. But I think it wasn't an entertaining fight. Obviously, Shevchenko had 16 minutes of control time, which was quite surprising to me. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
she won every single round.
I was hoping to see Alexa obviously win, but after I
was hoping for a little more.
I think
feet on the feet.
I think I got to like the fourth round, and then I forgot. I think I went and did something else.
Fight's over.
I was just like, I really stuck with it for as long because for other people, I honestly would not even wait that long.
Yeah.
Because it was just, I mean, it was too easy. Come on, Alexa. I'm like, what the fuck.
It was a bit too easy. I feel like Valentina was
annoyingly
fairly
easy.
Yeah.
And like I don't care if you end up on your back. If it's clear you're trying to fight, you're working, you're looking for something. I'm not saying she wasn't doing that, but obviously she had been successful before doing that.
It just kind of sucks to see her, and obviously being a fan favorite, being a Mexican fighter on Mexican Independence Day, and she just looked like, and I'm sure she wanted to win, but it kind of just looked like she didn't she wasn't as, what's the word I'm looking for, like I don't know what word I'm looking for, but she just wasn't all there.
Yeah, she wasn't all there.
In the octagon.
She just wasn't.
She got outdogged.
She just didn't. Yeah, she got outdogged, and she just wasn't dialed in. It seemed like, which is unfortunate. She got cold feet, basically.
Pretty much
the biggest fight of her career.
That's what I was looking for. What do you think's next? What do we think's next for this flyweight division? Because this has been kind of like this is another series of fights that have kind of halted, very similar to Moreno versus Figgy. Have kind of halted the division. I think Fiorot is probably next.
She's been knocking at the door for a while now. I think she deserves it.
Yeah, she's tall for this division, and she's a big she's tough. So.
And Rose just beat who? She beat somebody on short notice. Who was it? Because I know Macy Barber stepped. Oh, she's fighting Erin Blanchfield in like 2 weeks.
November.
Who was her last fight? I think
Cortez.
Cortez on short notice.
I think it was supposed to be Macy Barber versus Nama Yunus.
It was.
And then Tracy Cortez stepped up and she lost.
Yeah, Tracy's alright. Like I know she's a big fan favorite in the UFC fandom for obvious reasons.
Yeah, she.
But I don't know. She kind of annoys me sometimes. I'm like,
I was gonna say I don't know how I feel about her because she's not good enough to be like a contender, but she's still I forgot who she fought, but there was one fight where she was. I forgot what fight caught my attention. She looked really good in it, but I'm not sure she's good enough to ever make it that far. This won't work, anyways. But that happened. What else? DL, the big one.
Damn it, PJ.
Diego Lopez versus Ortega. Probably,
he's also carrying him and Alex. I would say are the two fan favorites of the summer.
Brazilians, they're doing great things over there.
For sure.
And don't forget about Charles. He's still there. Oh. He's not coming off a win, but he's still there.
The king is set to return.
But I thought that fight. I was a little bit nervous for Diego. I'm just gonna be honest with you. After watching what Brian Ortega did to Yair, he outlasted Yair. I thought it would go very similarly, where Diego went all in the first round and he knocked him down, almost had him out, and then I thought that after that first round is when Diego would start to deteriorate.
I saw like a similar path to victory for Brian Ortega. I was kind of concerned that the fight would play out that way until I saw what he was looking like on the scale.
Yeah, he did look a little.
I was like, dude. He has definitely looked better before.
100%.
I don't know.
I mean, he didn't look 145 pounds on the scale. Let's just say that he looked pretty thick.
Yeah,
to say the least. I mean, he did not look 145 pounds.
But what I want to say is, I actually saw. I was on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, blah blah blah. But and somebody had posted about Mosvar calling out like Diego for the short term. No, Aljo saying that he wants his next fight to be against Diego Lopez. And I said, if I'm Lopez, I'm not taking that fight. I feel like as if he doesn't have to.
No.
Somebody else said, because I said he's 100% certain to get the next fight. Someone else raised the point, a fair one, when I saw it, but they were like, no, Volk's going to be the one who's going to get it. He said it was confirmed. I'm like, show me a place where it is confirmed, because I don't know if when
I do think they're going to give it to Volk, to be honest with you.
But
I do think they're going to give it to Volk. Or, I mean, no, Volk's not dumb. Volk will not fight Diego Lopez.
But what would you rather see?
What would I rather see? What do you mean?
Like would you rather see
after Max Ilia? What would I see next?
Yeah. Would you rather see the winner fight
I would like to see Volk just out of respect. In all honesty, before this 3-fight losing streak, Volk was the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. He was arguably the featherweight. If he's not the featherweight GOAT already, some say he is, some say he's not. He was he was arguably up there for the greatest featherweight of all time, making his way up to one of the greatest fighters of all time. I think just out of respect, I think you do have to give it to Volk because he was a reigning champ for a long time. He cleared out the division.
I think Volk should wait until the UFC returns to Australia or Sydney or wherever they go, New Zealand, and he headlines and co-mains that card with Ilya or with Izzy. My bad. For old time's sake, him and Izzy headlining an event in Australia.
I mean, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Like because I mean, he was giving us a lot of activity for a long time, and then obviously he took 2, like brutal back-to-back KOs, but like, so I think that warrants him taking a bit of a break.
Oh, definitely. I mean, anytime you lose by a brutal knockout like that, you should definitely take some time off.
Especially like fighting the winner of either of those two. Like, he's beaten Holloway 3 times before. Last time it was bad. Are they both like evolved since that fight? For sure.
I know it's weird, but I feel like now, me personally, I feel like I low key favor Holloway.
Holloway, right?
I mean,
Holloway beat him once out of those. I
do think he won the second time.
The second fight, I always see. I thought
it was close, but regardless, it was close though.
Yeah.
It's not like it was convincingly. Like you could, there's an argument for both Volk and Max to win that fight.
For sure.
But if I were Volk, I would not want Ilia Topuria to have that title after this 308 because I don't. No. I'm gonna be honest with Volk. I don't see a path to victory
terrible
for
style.
Volk.
I think that's a terrible style.
That's the worst. That's probably the worst. Maybe, I mean, he might have a better chance. No, he wouldn't.
Because he fights in a similar range. Volk is like, he's either all the way in or all the way out on guys.
Yeah, but you can't go in on Ilya, though.
Exactly.
You just can't.
Exactly.
You can't go in. Exactly. And once Ilya gets in on you, it's GG's.
Yeah.
Like, you're
not.
Yeah,
because he stays so tight. There is no getting in on Ilya.
He's got to be the best boxer.
He pivots. Right, he's crazy. He's crazy.
It's actually nasty.
That's why I can't understand why people... I mean, I can understand why people shit on him. He talks a lot of shit. But... Dude, I think he's one of the few people who can actually...
If you actually appreciate mixed martial... And the thing is, his background is in wrestling and like jiu-jitsu. Like, I know. He's phenomenal. He's world-class on the ground. And people are talking about him being the best boxer in the UFC now.
Dude, and he can go freaking global. Like, he can bring the UFC to a way wider.
He
already is. I think they're building like a PI in Spain or something.
Definitely. I mean, he has an entire country behind him. Yeah. Technically, too. I mean, he's got Georgia, too.
Dude, they gotta get a UFC fight in a stadium eventually. I'm like itching to see one. Obviously, you would think
he had.
Yeah, like him or the Santiago Bernabéu. That's what it is.
Yeah, Bernabéu would be sick too. But I think Ilya's on his way if he beats Holloway, because Holloway obviously just came off of probably in terms of popularity, his biggest fight of his career. I mean, knocking out Gaethje at the biggest UFC event of all time, the way he knocked him out.
No, yeah,
it's not going to get any better than that in terms of fandom.
One of the best knockouts of all time.
I mean,
sure.
One of the most entertaining. Yeah, I think the most entertaining.
I mean, stole the show. I mean, like a lot of people don't even talk about.
Yeah.
Alex knocking out Jamal Hill. Just 30 minutes.
What a treat UFC 300 was, really. Yeah. I mean,
in hindsight, yes, I miss it. I talked a lot of shit about it, but. One thing I did kind of foresee after an event like UFC 300 where you use so much of like the big talent in one card is it's gonna take a little bit of time to get the ball rolling again.
I think a lot of people have been quite harsh on the UFC since then, and I get it. You want to see the best fighters fight the best fighters, but we're just getting back into that point where all these 300 guys.
Yeah, I think for a while
are going to fight again because you can't like you said, we had. I don't know how many champs/former champs were on that card, but I mean, there's a lot of big names that were on that card that...
Anybody on that card has or probably can very well main event a UFC Vegas. Anybody who was on that card.
Every single person on that card. I mean, I don't know who
Marina Rodriguez has headlined a card.
I was going to say, that women's fight, and I would say Sadiq Youssef was also like the lowest of the lowest in terms of superstardom. Yeah. On that card, and he could be. I think he fought
Barboza.
Barboza, that's right. Yeah, he also has fought on a Vegas card. So I mean, I think the UFC is getting back into it. I think this next slate is ridiculous. Obviously, we have Poatan coming up in the next fight. We have Poatan for the next one. That like we said, 308 in my opinion is going to be very not similar to UFC 300. It's not going to be that good, but the main card is 300
crazy.
it's ridiculous. And then John Jones is back.
I need this guy to show up, dude.
I mean, I hope he does. I'm not a fan of him.
Life is just better when he's fighting.
I'm not a fan of him, but I will say there are a few people in the UFC that get my heart racing when they're about to fight, like him. And he
exactly.
Regardless if I like somebody or not, I respect them when my heart is beating before a UFC fight. I have to tip my cap.
He is blockbuster. You know he's gonna go in there and just go balls to the walls from the get-go.
He's going to wreak havoc. And, but I do have a question.
Oh my god!
What? I do have a question. Like, if somebody had, let's just say, if they said you have to throw gun to your head, you have to throw your entire life savings, all the funds you've ever made, all the money your family's ever made in the entire world. Will Khamzat ever raise the gold?
Oh.
In his career, if you had to bet everything you ever had on it,
I would say. I would say yes. I would say yes. I would think.
Not counting an interim champ. Will he ever raise undisputed gold in his UFC career?
I think so. I think this fight. Finally, if he wins this fight,
he's
in any way,
he's next.
And I don't care if he robs Robert Whittaker. I don't care if it's clear Robert Whittaker won 3 rounds.
I feel like his last 3 fights were supposed to be the number 1 contender fight, and he screws it up somehow, some way.
Yes, he really does. Obviously the thing is you have to remind yourself is he's beating good guys. I mean, he beat Kamaru Usman. He beat Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns ever since then has gone on the downhill.
I mean, that's what happens when you fight a guy like that. You know, you're not gonna become a more healthier and fresh fighter after fighting a guy like Khamzat. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. And honestly, for what it's worth, I think Khamzat kind of exposed what Gilbert Burns is all about. He's he might shoot for a takedown, but on the stand-up, all he's going to do is look for a big right overhand. And unfortunately, he found it a few times because Khamzat would just go straight backwards.
Yeah, well, Khamzat's he fights like a moron, like you said.
Dude, he'll look in his training videos, everything is boxing.
He looks invincible. And then I think he thinks he's invincible in the octagon. And he realizes he was hurt in that fight pretty bad, but similar to Bilal, DDP, and Merab. He's just got dog. He just got dog in him.
Khamzat's a dude.
Yeah, but like we were saying, the UFC, they do need Khamzat because I feel like right now, I would say biggest superstars, I think Poatan is one.
Yeah.
I would have said Sugar's up there, but not anymore. I would probably say Ilya and Islam are 2 and 3.
Yeah, they need somebody like Khamzat, especially somebody who's a non-champion. There's not a lot of non-champions who you'd be willing to watch.
I mean, I would say non-champions.
Sean Strickland,
Diego Lopez is definitely up there. But besides that, I mean, Adesanya's still going to put butts in seats. Oliveira, obviously we still have the Mac. The Mac is still back there.
I mean, anybody at freaking lightweight could honestly make if you headline a main event with a lightweight fight.
Anyone in the top 10 in the lightweight division would be firework, except for Gamrat. He needs to be cut from the UFC as quick as possible. But yeah, I mean that's all that has happened. Only 6 pay-per-views. Well, I guess technically 7. 300, 301. Because we covered 300. So yeah, 301, 302, 303. Yeah, all that through 306, and 307 is fairly soon. We ended our before our break. We ended with a Pereira main event, and we will be restarting our newest. But like we said, the biggest superstar, best guy to cover right now is the Poatan.
Batman, dude. They raised the bat signal, and Poatan arrives. But before that. This weekend, I think we got a UFC
banger
event in
Paris. You just said lightweight. Any lightweights that could headline a fight night, and here we have Renato Money Moicano. I love saying his name like that. Moicano wants money. Sick, but Renato Moicano, dude, 2 of the sickest names.
Yeah.
Like actually, in terms of
facts.
Dude,
I gotta put a poll up. Who has a sicker name?
You do. I'm gonna put that on Twitter as well. Renato Moicano or Benoit Saint Denis. That's just aura right there. Let me tell you.
Aura for aura. But I think Saint Denis got a little bit more though.
I do. I think Moicano should have lost to Jalen Turner, but Turner's an idiot. Mm-hmm. And but. Hanal's got that dog in him. I wouldn't count him out. I think I'm favoring Saint Denis this weekend. 5 rounds. I don't know if it goes to the cards.
I think it's over in 3.
3?
Within 3, yeah.
You think sub or you think...
I forgot we can give predictions. I forgot we give predictions.
We got to get predictions. I mean...
It's good to be back, dude. Good to be back. Hinato. Last fight, Jalen Turner.
Hinato's only ever been subbed by Brian Ortega, which is no shame.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to get... Do we think he's going to get subbed? I think so, actually. I think Benoit knocks him down just like Turner did, and I think he does what Jalen Turner probably should have done, and he's going to jump on him. Maybe ground and pound.
I think he ground and pounds him.
You? I like 4th round.
Second round. Oh,
I'm going to go 4th round sub.
I forgot it's 5. Something around there.
I mean,
there's probably going to be a little. So Saint Denis still might just run at him.
Yeah, he might. I mean, Benoit apparently had a staph infection when he fought Poirier, which definitely staph, whatever staph infection, whatever it's called.
He sounded Danish. Yeah, he's a little staph.
I don't know why I said that. Regardless, he had whatever that stupid thing's called, and apparently that really screwed with his gas tank. So I don't know how much of a gas tank Benoit has. I still think I think he's going to be a contender.
Yeah, facts.
Still, because to be honest with you, I mean this top 5, these guys are all getting old up here. I mean,
no, for real.
Sadly, Charles, Poirier, Gaethje, Chandler, even Hooker, they're probably not going to be around for
3 years.
Too much. I was going to say Charles probably lasts the longest. Gaethje said he's one more loss away from probably being done. Poirier has 1 fight left. Chandler, what? You don't think so?
No. I'm saying, like, it's sad that Poirier's going to be...
no, it is sad.
I think the next one is probably his last.
Yeah, well, he said it was either he was done or one more. At least he's getting one more fight in. But
should wait for the MAC. I think everyone should make for the MAC, though. I've said that like
if
4
anyone
times.
has common sense, they want the MAC. Can we just get him a damn date already? I'm sick and tired of this.
Honestly, just surprise me. You'd be better off just telling the people.
Just have him walk out tomorrow. Just have him walk out tomorrow.
Literally just say, like, we don't...
Short
he
notice.
will, for 100%, come back at some point in the year, and you just have to watch every single pay-per-view to find out which one.
He's going to fight next year. I fully believe he will. I said that this year, and he was scheduled to.
I mean, I believe it this year, right? But it's like, it's just the fact that I just know it's still like 6 months away.
Yeah.
4 months away. Like, even if it's January.
But the thing is, people saying he's not going to fight. They had it marked down, and then obviously Conor got hurt, and Conor's not one to ever pull out of a fight for an injury. He hasn't in the past, but he didn't do that in his last fight, and it set him back 3 years, which sucks. So for anyone criticizing him, screw you, because he probably should have pulled out the last time.
I'm not blowing any smoke up your ass, buddy.
No, not you. I'm saying these guys. Anybody who's criticizing the Mac, screw you if you were criticizing him.
Yeah, honestly, you.
Wait, did you ever give your prediction for the fight? Benoit? I got 4th round sub.
No, honestly, I'm honestly going to stick with what I said at first. I think I'm going to go Benoit Saint Denis by 2nd round. TKO ground and pound. I think he hurts him. I think he finds a way to hurt him.
I think he hurts him too. I think he just... I think we have a similar idea. I just think you think he's going to finish it with a knockout. I think he's just going to... Moicano's going to be out of it.
Yeah. Similar thing where he hurts him bad. Moicano hits the ground somehow.
The start of the end will be on the feet is what I think we're trying to say.
Yeah, for sure.
We could do the co-main, I guess, as well. Co-main is I don't think from a name power perspective anyone gives a shit, but I think it's a decent fight.
Middleweight used to be a premier division in the UFC.
It really did.
What are we doing?
Now we're at this.
Chael Sonnen.
Now we're at Nasruddin Imavov and Brendan Allen potentially putting themselves in the title picture here with the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is weird. Like, I don't want to see Brendan Allen fight for him.
Brendan, I actually don't mind. Imavov is kind of he's not bad.
Imavov's not. He's nice.
He's not great, but he's not bad. You know what I'm saying? He's solid. So.
And he's a French. Like, the French guys are always easier to root for or root against because the French are.
French are a passionate fan base, to say the least. They're passionate people. I think I like Imavov. Dude, I just hope Brendan Allen doesn't just... He could bore us out to a decision just by holding him down, because he is a pretty good wrestler. I think Imavov is going to get him. I think he gets him by, 2nd or 3rd round. Mm-hmm. Nah, I'm going with the decision. He's not going to...
Really?
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Jesus. No.
UD Imavov put himself probably 1 fight away from the title after that.
I've been trying to think. I wish I would have saw Brendan Allen's fight versus Chris Curtis. I was honestly pretty confident that Brendan Allen was going to walk over him. And much to my surprise, I think it went to a controversial decision.
Yeah,
I know.
It was a split.
Yeah, I know.
Chris Curtis wasn't happy.
I know he. Oh no shit.
Well, Chris Curtis was crying. He was gonna cry no matter. He was gonna cry no matter what.
He's not happy when he wakes up on the warm side of the pillow.
Yeah, he is a little crybaby.
Dude, I think he blocked Sean Strickland on Twitter too. But anyways,
probably.
Who fucking cares? But I thought he was gonna steamroll him, and he didn't. So I was a little. I wish I would have tuned into that fight, but I ended up not. So I'm a little hesitant to lean towards him. Who was he scheduled to fight before Chris Curtis? Do we know? What was his last one before that?
Who, Brendan Allen?
Yeah.
Well, he was on a 4-fight submission streak.
It was impressive. He submitted Paul Craig, I think.
Yeah, he subbed Paul Craig. I just clicked off of it. He subbed Paul Craig.
Yeah,
he subbed. There were a couple dudes in there that he subbed.
Let's see.
Dude, can I click the button already? What am I doing out here? That's who it was. Bruno Silva and Andre.
Oh yeah.
Whatever his name is, Andres Muniz. That guy sucks.
Oh yeah. So that was kind of. So the last person he subbed was Paul.
Yeah, Paul Craig, Silva, Muniz. He's got good ground game.
Well,
that's why I think he could bore us to a decision.
I thought he beat better guys than that. I mean, those guys are okay. Like Bruno Silva, he's a tough guy. I mean, they're all tough guys. But I thought maybe he had another name on there that kind of stood out. Then I guess I would lean towards Imavov. Then I would say I could see his body kicks potentially being dangerous.
Definitely.
I think his takedown defense will hold up. I think he's in the same camp as Cyril Gahn. And I would hope, I think he's a smart enough guy to learn from the mistakes of Cyril Gahn and see what gets him in trouble in terms of the wrestling. So I think Imavov will come in there with a good takedown defense, a few body kicks. I could see him hurting Allen. And I think it's gonna be an exciting one. I could see 4th round TKO.
Yeah. Is it a 5-rounder?
Oh shit! It's a co-main. I thought maybe they.
No, it might be. It might be a 5-rounder.
Yeah.
I have no.
If it's 3 rounds, I'll still go Imavov, but I'll go Imavov by decision.
Let me just make sure, Allen. I don't know if it's 5 or a 3-rounder, but regardless, yeah. So you're going with Imavov.
Yeah, I'll take Imavov. If it's 5 rounds, he's gonna get 4th round TKO. If it's 3, it's
Yeah, I can't seem. No one seems to want to talk about this fight.
Jesus.
Who would? But anyways.
No, Brendan Allen. He wears a one of those raccoon hats.
Yeah,
I used to have one of those.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Somewhat.
But yeah,
I'm cold, dude.
I mean, well, I think that's about it.
Yeah,
today. I feel like I used to apologize a bit for the sloppiness of the podcast. You know, we missed a lot. We had a lot to talk about. But we'll have a better constructed outline in the future. There was a lot to talk about because we missed a lot. You know, we're back.
Yeah, I don't think it was bad, though. We flowed pretty nicely.
No, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying, like, I feel like from here on out, we'll be more organized. We'll have a little bit more of an outline. I'll chop up the notes as always.
Oh, we're gonna be good to go.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to be back though. It was a great time. I feel.
No, one thing that I said to PJ before we started, we said people have done more with less. You know. Look where we are. We're still here, swinging. We're back.
And hopefully, this will be one of our most listened to episodes, considering it is the return.
It's the return. Sometimes you got to take away what the people want, and then make them realize how bad they
we're back. Now we'll be back weekly. You can get your weekly dose of some mixed martial arts.
Combat sports, whatever you want.
We'll continue to give you the incorrect picks to bet on.
And maybe next week. What do you think? Q&A next week. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of traction.
Yeah, I mean, considering, and obviously, we have great appreciation for IUS TV for hosting this. But now we have, I would say, like a little bit more freelance to do some other things outside of just a weekly. Like we can
creative liberty.
Yeah, we can get creative with this. Yeah. So maybe we'll have a couple of guest hosts. Yeah. Maybe the return of the Duke Dougie Dewan.
I put a mention in my boy our boy Jay Kanye.
Kanye, yeah. No, we gotta get some guests on here. We'd love to see some of you guys who. Any other closing remarks?
Dude, no. I mean, I'm just happy to be back. I'm happy to see the support that came in after we announced our return. It was very pleasant to see. Nice to know that people were needing it.
Some people were excited.
So we're ready to be back. You know, we're happy to share our voices again with you guys. As PJ was saying, thanks to everyone at ISTV. You guys helped get this dream started.
They were the stepping stone.
Yeah.
I mean, without them, who knows where we'd be.
When we earlier reference to the podcast, we talked about how we had watched McGregor snap his leg down here
In this exact room.
and that was probably the summer before we started the podcast, if I recall correctly, something along those lines.
Something like that. Yeah.
So
I don't remember the exact timeline, but
somehow, some way, we find ourselves
We're here.
back where we started.
yeah. Like I said, thank you to everyone who listened. We'll be back. Everybody follow us on all socials. We're going to try and get a little more active with the TikTok and Twitter and the Instagram.
Yeah.
But we need you guys to tune in. You know what I'm saying?
Share it. Come on, guys. We know we got you, and you guys got us.
But, yeah.
So follow us at the Split Decision Pod on Instagram, and then
The Twitter is pod. No, let me just pull it up before I incorrectly stated. I don't want you guys following some random schmuck.
dude, we gotta buy that guy. Whoever has the Split Decision Pod, we gotta buy that guy.
Oh, it's Pod Split DEC is indecision for Twitter. So Pod Split Deck or Pod Split Dis.
If I still have Premiere on this laptop, maybe I'll put it right here or something.
And the TikTok actually it's been doing decent. We have 22,000 likes across. I mean, I've just been posting some random some random stuff. We have 96 followers right now. It's just Split Decision Pod.
But you want to tell them why we're going to be able to start posting stuff directly from the pod onto TikTok.
Yeah, so
now?
that's the other thing. Now that we are recording on a laptop, a PC now, we can screen record this and put some of our clips on TikTok. So that will definitely.
So make sure you check us out there.
Yeah, help you guys. If you don't want to listen to us yap for an hour, you can listen to us yap for like a minute clip on TikTok.
Share with your friends. People are like, "Oh, well, what's their podcast all about? Why would I even listen to it?"
Yeah, you can
Feel
get the
free to
general.
give them a show.
You can get the general gist of it. But
But that does it for episode. I want to say 45.
Let's
could
also
be 46. I don't know.
Once again, we'll be more organized after today.
Dude, you guys don't care. But yeah, we will be. We will be for you guys.
This was episode. Oh, I gotta scroll to the top. Episode 46.
Wow.
This is what we are in episode 46, and we're back. The hiatus is over. Thank you to all who tune in, and we'll see you at the top.
We will see you guys at the top.